1. Under the Bodhi tree, in the silence of night, the moment of truth. On a quiet, moonlit night, in the depths of the Shuruvala forest, present-day Bihar, India, beside the tranquil Naranjara river, a solitary figure sat unmoving beneath a large Bodhi tree. His silhouette merged with the shadows of the tree, the whispering breeze, and the faint light of the moon. That man was Prince Siddhartha Gautama, who would soon become the Buddha. After 6 years of extreme ascetic practices and having abandoned all extremes in favor of the middle path, that night he entered deep meditation and attained enlightenment. Throughout the night, he examined his mind, saw through countless lifetimes of samsara, understood the roots of suffering, and discovered the law of dependent origination along with the path to liberation. As the morning star rose, he opened his eyes that now reflected the dawn of ultimate awakening. And in that moment of realization, the Buddha did not shout, did not proclaim, but a profound insight crystallized in his heart. No one can save us but ourselves. 2. Words rooted in personal transformation. When the Buddha spoke these words, it was not philosophical speculation, but a truth born of lived experience. He had once been a prince with every worldly pleasure, luxury, love, power. Yet he perceived in it the shadow of suffering, illness, and death. He renounced his palace, shaved his head, wore the robe of a seeker, and practiced extreme austerities until he was skin and bones. He explored every path available to the spiritual seeker, only to realize that no outer condition could lead to liberation unless the mind itself awakened. He never claimed divinity or superiority. When asked who he was, he simply said, "I am one who has awakened." He taught, "Be a lamp unto yourself, take refuge in yourself and not in others." 3. The Light Within, a parable of a man lost at sea. Over 2,500 years later, in a high-altitude monastery in Tibet, an old monk recited this teaching to a young disciple. The wind whistled through the mountain crests, fluttering rows of colorful prayer flags. Before them stretched a sea of clouds, bathed in the golden light of dusk. The old monk said, "Once there was a man lost at sea. He had no boat, no shore in sight. With every rising wave, he screamed, cried, and begged for someone to save him. One day, he heard a voice from deep within. 'Stop begging, learn to swim.'" The young disciple sat still, eyes wide. The monk smiled gently. That is the Buddha's message. In the vast ocean of suffering, no one can carry you across. You must learn to swim yourself. 4. The illusion of salvation. When people suffer, they often look outward for salvation. They pray to gods, seek powerful saviors, or even try to buy merit while refusing to change their hearts. But the Buddha once said, "You may search the entire universe for someone who is more deserving of your love and compassion than yourself, and you will not find that person anywhere." He also reminded, "Even those who love you deeply cannot live for you, suffer for you, or attain awakening for you." In one sutra, the body is compared to a house on fire. We are its owners. Instead of grabbing the bucket beside us to extinguish the flames, we cry out for others to save us. The longer we wait, the more the fire spreads, until only ashes remain. 5. The Path of the Brave. There's a story from the Buddha's life. After his enlightenment, he returned to visit his parents. King Suddhodana, his father, wept with emotion and asked, "What secret path have you found, my son? Did divine beings teach you some miracle?" The Buddha gently smiled. "Father, there is no secret. I simply learned to look within myself, and everything became clear. The most sacred power lies not outside us, but within our own hearts, in the form of wisdom and compassion." 6. The story of Kisa Gotami, a mother who saved herself. Kisa Gotami, a young mother, was devastated by the sudden death of her only son. Clutching his lifeless body, she ran from house to house, begging someone to revive him. People called her mad. Eventually, she came to the Buddha. He said, "Bring me a mustard seed from a household that has never known death." She went from door to door, but every family had lost someone. Finally, she sat down by the road, gazing at the sunset, and understood death is universal. She let go of her child, asked to ordain, and eventually became a revered nun. The Buddha gave her no miracle. He simply helped her awaken, and in that moment, she saved herself from madness, grief, and clinging. 7. Don't seek salvation, seek awakening. The teaching, "No one can save us but ourselves," is not about selfishness or isolation. It is a call to inner responsibility. No one walks the path of life for us. No one suffers or rejoices for us. Only we can truly experience and transform our own journey. In the forest, when a young deer is injured, the herd may gather, but no one can walk in its place. The deer must stand up, trembling, bleeding, fragile, but it must rise. And that first trembling step is the beginning of liberation. 8. The Buddha shows the way, but we must walk it. The Buddha left behind 84,000 Dharma teachings. He laid out the Noble Eightfold Path: right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. But he never forced anyone. He never promised rewards. He simply said, "This is the path to peace. Try it and see for yourself." Like someone pointing to the sunrise, whether or not the sunlight enters your heart depends on whether you open the door. 9. A word to those suffering today. If today you are burdened by loss, failure, betrayal, loneliness, or despair, know this: no one will knock at your door and save you. No one can erase your sorrow. But the beautiful truth is, you can. You don't need to become a Buddha overnight. Just begin each day with quiet reflection. Live honestly, act with compassion, speak mindfully. Let your body settle in stillness. Day by day, light will begin to radiate from within. This is the truest form of salvation, not a miracle from outside, but an awakening from within. 10. Final words. When we save ourselves, we light the way for others. When someone learns to rise from darkness, they don't just save themselves. They become a living example, a beacon of hope, a source of inspiration. The Buddha was once just a man who suffered, questioned, and searched. But he lit a flame of awakening, and that flame has illuminated the path for millions ever since. So, if today you sit in a dark room with only one match in hand, don't wait for someone else to strike it. Do it yourself, light your own way. Because no one can save us but ourselves. And that is the greatest gift the Buddha left us: freedom, responsibility, awakening.